morning, everybody. It is show number 7. It's
Wow.
May. It's May.
The lusty month of May.
From Camelot. However, the month is lusty, but it certainly isn't warm. And we are looking forward to a little warmth. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
I was in New York City this weekend visiting my grandchildren. When I tell you it was raining, the water was going down our sleeves,
And it was windy.
It was absolutely unbelievable.
Torrential.
But I saw a show that I just have got to recommend called Come From Away. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's up for a Tony. It's about all the planes that were stranded in Newfoundland. Is that how you say it?
Newfoundland.
That's right, how you said it. At 9/11, and all of the people were strangers to each other, but they stayed there for all this time, and so they became very close friends. And, all this drama, and it was so beautiful. People were cheering, and it was musical. People were cheering and
love
screaming
that.
at the end of it, and they no one wanted to leave the theater.
Oh, nice.
It was really neat. So it's good. What's new?
I'm writing a lot of grants for work. I've been in my garden a lot.
Yeah.
Yay.
I have an 8-year-old, which is about all I need to say.
Speaking.
It's new every day then, is what you're trying to say,
New
right?
every day.
New every
It's
day.
new every day. She's part toddler, part tween. Yep.
Part
Yeah.
old soul.
Part old
Everybody can
soul,
relate to
part
that.
feral animal.
But you said you were reading her something that's a very special read.
One of
for
my favorite books
everybody.
ever. We're reading. This is the best time of year to read it. It's the only time of year to read Anne of Green Gables, and it's the first time for Julia. And the language is a little old-fashioned for her, but she's already inside the story with me, and it's the most beautiful story. It's just such a story
I
of
love
resilience and girl strength. And it's going to be on Netflix. There's a new Anne of Green Gables coming this month to Netflix. A whole new series.
That's
A
great.
new-
So it's
a reimagining.
timely.
Yes, which is why we are reading it together.
Oh, that's
Great.
nice.
When was that last series produced? Was that a 70s?
That was
thing?
1984 with Megan Fellows.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
We have a big fan.
Yep.
You're an
Fan
Annie,
here.
Annie
yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
You doing anything exciting lately?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I leave this weekend for Lisbon. I'm going traveling with some friends, and then I'm bicycling from Paris to Epernay, the Champagne Valley, with the Upper Cape Ski Club. So the coolest thing about this particular trip, this is my 4th trip with them, but the coolest bicycling trip fact about this is we've got the whole barge. It's a bike and barge trip. And so 24 people from the Upper Cape are going.
Wow.
Yeah, so there'll be great stories when I get back.
Could you just be on the barge for?
Yeah, you can hang out on the barge if you want to.
Well, tell us about
Sounds
the
so great.
bike part.
So
That
we're
sounds-
going to bicycle. It's about up to 35 miles a day. And the valley, as you can imagine, is up and down.
Valley
Yeah.
has hills.
It's going to be interesting. But I suspect that we'll be blaming a lot of the sluggishness on the Champagne tour.
And rightly so.
Right. So I'm excited about it.
that's great. Have a
And
great time.
We're going to do a couple days in Paris too, not on bikes. So it'll be fun.
Oh, may we?
Probably,
Vive Macron.
probably a smart
Well, I
thing.
think a lot
That's
is going
great.
on there
Yes,
right now,
how
right?
exciting.
So
Yeah.
I think
Right.
it could be very interesting and
Interesting.
good, timely.
Be careful. That's all.
You know, I'm a fatalist.
Yep.
If there's
Whatever.
something going to happen, read about me in the news, guys.
Well, that's true. Except when I would be nervous about flying, my dad would always say, "It's not your, not your time yet," and then he'd say, "But it might be the pilot's time." So, that always got me nervous.
I never thought about it that way.
Anything new and exciting with you?
Well, no Paris trip.
No.
That sounds great though. But I'm going to be following Annie because I love Paris.
Yeah.
Paris is a great city. I'm putting a fire pit in my backyard.
You
Fun.
I want one.
They're the
yeah.
best.
They're the new thing, right? Do you have one? You have a
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You
Mine's
have one.
not fancy. I just buried a Weber grill in the ground.
Wait, that's what you did?
That's my fire pit. Yeah, you've sat around it. Yeah, that's
And you've
a-
never
I
known.
don't
Took me
think
a long
I
time to get those
know
legs
this.
down there. No,
That's
so
we
awesome.
took the legs off and buried
Wait,
it. Yeah.
speaking of fire pits, I just want to give a huge shout out to Cape Leisure and Mashpee Commons.
Oh.
We lost our furniture from a couple of times ago, but they actually have given us this furniture
That's nice.
to use for the show, and we're going to get a table, so we have a whole new set. And thank you, Cape Leisure, and I'm going to come in and buy my own fire pit there.
Ooh, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that
No,
sounds
no, but that's a
very
great
fun.
idea. Well, because with a fire pit comes furniture, right?
Right.
So now and I've sort of been dwelling on,
stuff.
right? What will I put around it?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I have to decide where to put it. And of course, my brother, who's very conscious of things like fire laws, is telling me, well, it has to be so many feet from the house and
true.
so many feet from the pool, and so I have to, narrow down where it's going to go. But that's my big excitement for the month.
That's exciting.
I know, it is kind of nice.
So we'll have an invitation?
I have open invitation anytime.
I'll bring
I'm
wine.
thinking.
We'll bring the
Bottles
glasses.
and bottles.
Yeah.
Bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, in our new glasses,
Our
right?
new glasses.
I love these. We've had the gallery out in the studio with gorgeous work by Mindy Reasonover and her husband. It's only here for a couple more weeks, so be sure to stop by the station at any time and see it. And she also made these glasses.
Yes,
Is that right?
she paints these. Right.
She's the hydrangea lady. They
Right.
call her.
And
Hydrangea glasses.
last month we had CL Fernari here, and she was telling us about the hydrangea tour, the garden tour. Well, Mindy has agreed to be at my house holding a painting class on how to paint hydrangeas
Oh, perfect.
during the garden tour.
Oh, that's
And
so
the general
fun.
manager here has agreed to film all those kinds of things during that festival. So that's going to be
Wow.
really
Isn't that going to
fun.
be exciting?
That's really cool. Katuitt is doing a hydrangea cocktail
Oh, right.
in
Yeah.
true Katuitt form. That's our contribution, right?
that's
I guess we
great.
could come up with dancing hydrangeas. We could probably do better, but a hydrangea cocktail will be fun. We haven't figured it out yet, so Christine, that'll be something we have to work on
Oh,
this
we'll
week.
work hard on that.
We'll work
Grace.
very
Yeah,
hard on
very
that.
hard.
That's
Yeah,
great.
sounds good.
Girls, our guest is here. Speaking of flowers, okay? I am, after a commercial break, going to introduce you to Suzanne Carter, who started an organization called Flower Angels USA. Wait till you hear about this.
Oh, great.
I am so excited to have you here today, Suzanne, and you brought along our friend Irene from Flower Angels USA, which a lot of people who are watching today may not know about what Flower Angels does. But when I heard about it at my Pilates class from an angel herself, I said, this is so fabulous. Tell us about Flower Angels, how you started it, and what you do with all this.
Well, Flower Angels is a nonprofit organization where we receive donated flowers from the supermarkets, Trader Joe's and Shaw's, and weddings. And what we do is we have a large group of volunteers, mostly retired volunteers, who repurpose them into these cute little bouquets. And then we have a large group of people with disabilities, adults with disabilities from Capabilities and Community Connections, who actually accompany us on the deliveries. And so it gives everybody a lot of purpose and a lot of joy and to be involved in our organization because, it's just really a beautiful mission.
And they're delivered where?
We deliver them to 30 nursing homes from Provincetown to Bourne. And we also go to assisted living facilities, and then we visit people, in-home hospice patients. We partner with Beacon Hospice in the VNA, and so their social workers and nurses deliver them to in-home hospice patients. So we add a lot of joy. We go to rehab centers too. So.
How did you get the idea? I think it's such a great. My daughter got married. We had all these flowers left over. I wanted to bring them to the hospital. I didn't know how to get them there. I mean, this is so fabulous.
Well, my mother was in a nursing home, and I'm from Cape Cod for 5 generations, and she was in a nursing home. She agreed to go to the nursing home if I would visit her every day for 6 hours a day, which I did, so that she would go, because her house is 260 years old, and she was not safe in her home. So anyway, so that's how I spent 21 months. And then I realized that nobody had any visitors.
Oh.
And every time I walked in, I'd bring things for my mom. People would say, "Oh, she's so lucky, her daughter's always here." So then I started to bring things for them. And so like candy and stuff from BJ's. And then she would put them in little Dixie cups, and then we would wheel her around to the rooms.
Oh, how cute.
And the people were so happy to have
So
a
generous.
treat and a visitor. So that became what we did every time I visited her. So that was great. And so when she passed away, I wanted to do something to honor her memory. So I used the money she left me, and I created flower angels because everybody loves flowers, right?
Right.
And it's like a partnership made in heaven, like lonely people.
don't-
And flowers, all of these flowers would just be put in the rubbish.
Right.
And the wedding venues, as you know, you had a
Right.
wedding. And so we started at first I started to purchase the flowers. Then I went to the thrift shop and purchased the vases. And then one at a time, people started to come in, volunteers started streaming in. Now we have more than 100 volunteers. And then one at a time, people would deliver teacups and vases and stuff. And the reason that we like teacups and mugs and little pitchers and creamers is because they can be right on the bedside table.
Oh, I have so many vases for you. I can't wait to give them to you.
So we love that. They love it. Now, people in the nursing homes are older, and they had their little teacups.
Right.
Now we drink with big giant mugs and stuff, but that's what they used to use. So when we go in with this, they are like so happy. I mean, they're smiles from ear to ear.
Right.
The special needs people smile from ear to ear because they're like really, people thank them. And it's just like a beautiful mission. I call it a mission of love.
Yeah,
How long have you been
sure
doing
is.
3 years. It was 3 years. March 14th was our first delivery. 2014, it was 3
Wow.
years. We have delivered almost 26,000 bouquets. We try to visit 1,000 people a month.
That is outstanding. And you have volunteers.
We have lovely, lovely volunteers, and here
And
is one
here
of our
we have
favorite
one.
volunteers of the whole organization.
Irene, how did you get involved in this?
Well, I saw an article in the Right to Know column, and it was Suzanne's looking for volunteers. And I had reached a stage in my life, my 4 kids had flown out of the nest, so I thought, I have to do something more purposeful. So I didn't know what I was getting into. Well, I was greeted with open arms, and it's been a godsend for me. And I'm with wonderful people. They're all so generous, and they treat me like a queen, which I love. But
As you should be.
But no, it's very gratifying, and when you know what the people in nursing homes appreciate what you're doing for them, it's very heartwarming,
I can imagine.
and it's done a lot for me. It's been fulfilled my life. It's very gratifying, and Suzanne is the heart and soul of Flower Angels,
Isn't that
and
great?
she's our inspiration, believe me.
And didn't I just hear you say you've done 70 of these in the last week or something?
Yeah, to glue them, and I write Flower Angels on the teacups. Yeah,
And-
it keeps me busy.
In the spirit of volunteering, I understand that you're 92 years old, which I know you don't want to make a big deal about, but I think it is a fabulous thing that, first of all, you look like you're 65, and second of all, that you're doing this, and I'm speechless.
Well, it's a wonderful mission, and we do so many wonderful things. And last Veterans Day, we went to the nursing homes, and it was wonderful. Those veterans, but of course, I can relate to World War II, you understand.
Right,
And they had the younger ones from Korea, and I had a wonderful time. I was nervous about it, but then I got talking to them, and we had something in common that we could talk
Absolutely.
about.
Sure.
And they were so appreciative of their white mugs with the flag and a little flag, and the veterans spoke to them and asked them, "Where did you serve?" And you could see the light in their faces.
It's fabulous.
It was
That's
wonderful.
Wonderful.
It was.
Suzanne, I wish we could spend longer because I think it's such a wonderful mission that you're doing. But Flower Angels USA, if you have extra flowers, extra mugs, extra vases, this seems like an organization to give it to. And I'm giving you both hugs from everybody here.
Suzanne,
because
how can
it's
they reach
great.
you? How can they reach you?
Well, they can contact us, they can call us at 508-280-9869. Our headquarters, in our workshop headquarters,
Yeah.
is in South Yarmouth on Route 28, 851 Route 28. They can reach us at grace@flowerangelsusa.org. And we also have a website, Flower Angels USA.
Yeah, I Googled that.
Yeah.
Great.
It's terrific. Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much
Thank
for
you.
having
Thanks
us.
for coming.
Thank you. Thank
Such
you.
a great thing. Really, terrific.
We are back with Annette Crowley, who is the Vice President of Rockland Trust, also a financial consultant. Well, let me tell you how this happened. I was at Rockland Trust the other day, and I saw this brochure that said Girl Talk, Money Talk. And friends of mine and I have been, unfortunately, losing people that are very dear to us, and talking about how important it is to know more about money and investing and things like that. Not just to listen to our husbands or partners talk about it, but to really know it ourselves. I am not good at this. I will admit to having closed down 10 to 20 checking accounts in my 30s because I so lost track I would just close them down and then open a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting
So
technique.
I really am taking all of these classes. But Annette, can you tell us a little bit about Girl Talk, Money Talk? And then I would like you to tell us, me especially, the top 5 things that women should know about money. So it's all you.
I like this.
Well,
Right.
how this all started is I've worked in this field on the Cape for over 20 years. And what I've noticed throughout my career is how much little women are exposed to and controlling the funds and what they know. Because typically the husband always did it. And if the husband didn't do it, we tend to procrastinate and not do anything. So a big part of my research is that women trust less, fear more, procrastinate more, which is strictly because of education, self-confidence. The feeling that I can do this is not as strong as it should be, or I think it should be. I have a husband and wife come and see me last week. The wife said, I know nothing. Well, that's not a good way to preserve your financial future, if I
say
should
the
say.
least.
Right.
To say the least. So it's important that we stop being proactive instead of reactive, because when we all know when you're reactive, that's when things happen that you really have no control over because it has to go very quickly. So I thought about this program for a while, how I wanted to work with just women to educate them, and convince them that they can do this through the education, through trust, and working with a group on a continuum basis about topics that are very specific to their needs. Each week, what we decided is each month, we're going to have a different topic, May through October. On the second Thursday of every month, it's going to be held at the Mashpee Chamber office,
Which is where?
North Market Street.
Okay,
Okay, it's right near the Stop and Shop Plaza, diagonally across from Cape Cod 5.
okay.
So it's the third Thursday of each month from 5 to 6. It's a different topic each time.
Great.
So if you get one of the invitations, the first one's empowering the female investor. Just getting the statistics, know the statistics of where we stand in our net worth as overall as women, and what obstacles we have to overcome because we started Social Security late, or we took time off for having our children. Those all evolve into this whole plan where it's much different for the male. The male makes a little more money than the female does. Sometimes. Well, but we were going to address that as well. Then we have women in confidence and retirement. That's building confidence, and by building confidence, you build knowledge. What do I need to know? So if I'm interviewing a financial advisor, what question should I ask? So I know what they're talking about. A lot of the language is goes right over your head. You don't understand it, and it is a little complicated. So you got to sit back and say, slow down, explain it very slowly and carefully. The other one is planning for health care in retirement. In your retirement, you know all the rules of Social Security. Lots of people make mistakes of either filing too early or filing too late, or they didn't know they could have their ex-husbands. All of that and how that works in with your health care and Medicare. And that's very important these days
Absolutely.
to know what is going on before you get this 50% less Social Security bill
Right,
check
absolutely.
because of Medicare, and why is that so, and what should I expect in the future?
I think that sounds great. All of these topics are so good. I think
Something.
even younger women
Absolutely.
absolutely.
this would be
Yeah.
terrific for them.
And the statistics are staggering. When you look at women have more than 50% of the net worth, but only 20% will invest. So because of procrastination, education, fear, being taken advantage of, we all feel it in some form or fashion, because, you know, it doesn't matter if it's finance or you're dealing with an attorney or you're dealing with a dentist or a doctor. You want to know the questions to ask.
Right. It's not just women either.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of men that are distrustful of,
There are,
You know,
there are men, but I want to focus on women.
absolutely, it's great.
I have an interesting, I sell houses for Sotheby's, and I run in, particularly this year, I've been dealing with 3 different women who lost their husbands, who knew nothing about their financial health.
There you go.
And ended up with some surprises. Having to sell the house sooner than they thought, things like that. I think something like this, I could probably fill your class with some of the folks that really, of that generation,
That
where the
need,
man handled everything. But when the man dies suddenly, and
Absolutely.
you don't know where the checkbook is or what's in it, or
Well-
any of those things, it really took these women up short.
It's frightening.
Well, and the work
makes
they
it
have-
difficult for those working with them, because we don't know either, right?
Right, and the worst thing is if your documents and you're not proactive and you're being reactive, everything takes so much longer to accomplish
And it's emotional.
during that emotional time. So it's important that we take charge of our own destination, because it's going to get really expensive. And you want to make sure that you're not fearful to not participate in instruments that will make you money, but know the facts, know the history, know who you're dealing with, talk to them on a continuum basis. The relationship between advisor and client is critical. It's critical to know you can't just take a person and say, okay, I'm going to put you in this portfolio because that's where it goes, without saying, what's your feelings, how do you feel, what direction do you really want to go in, and what kind of risk are you willing to take to get there?
And
it's-
what kind of time do you have to invest in it?
what kind of time? I mean, you know, after '08, everybody kind of readjusts their process.
Oh, don't talk about 08.
Right. So, you know, and again, if you were educated, you may not have bailed out.
Absolutely. You know, we don't have a lot of time. Everybody's always
Yes.
rushing us on this show. Tell us the top 3 things women should know. Like one, we should have a will.
Will,
Set, right?
absolutely a
I'm
will.
savvy.
You should
you
have
gotta cover
investments, short-term, mid-term, long-term. You should know what you're in and how much it costs you. And is it worth the benefit? Is the cost worth the benefit? There's things that don't cost much and there's things that cost a lot. It's what you want out of those products. There's no bad products. It's just bad products meeting with the wrong person.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Annette. That's great. You and I need to talk later. Anybody else?
Right?
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me,
And
and
I'm
I
going to
hope-
be there Thursday.
Great.
Girl Talk, Money Talk, 5 to 6, and then you'll get a whole schedule of the rest of the shows.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Annette.
Thank you for asking me to be on.
This was a great morning for all of us. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Annette. The next time that we see each other, it will definitely be warmer. When it gets warmer, I start getting a little bit nervous about, bathing suits. This is my new thing. Get a close-up of this. how to have a beach body. Number 1, have a body. Number 2, go to the beach.
Perfect.
Right on.
With that, I leave you. Join us next week. We have a great guest coming. We have a surprise guest. We also have Rabbi Lieberman from the Falmouth Jewish Congregation coming to talk to us about Cape Cod Pride. Stay tuned for that.